Hey everybody, Danny here with Danny Murphy and Associates at First Team Real Estate. We're doing our weekly Orange County, Southern California real estate market update. And so, like I said, there's always stuff happening. Some of the statistics that we'd like you to know about and try to update you on each week. There's about 4,600 homes on the market currently for sale in Orange County, so that's down. So we were up approaching 6,000. We're now down to about 4,500. That's compared to over 6,000 typically, or 6,500 this time of the year pre-pandemic. So we're still definitely in a low inventory environment, but more than we've had the last 2 years. So that's good for buyers that are out looking for properties. They have some things to choose from. Another important statistic, especially this time of the year, is properties will expire and they will not sell in the 6 months typically that they have on a contract. And so there's 4,500 homes for sale in the market right now, and there's 4,500, just under 4,500 homes that have expired in the last week, and so or month, to date. So a lot of properties, if you're not marketing them right, if you're not pricing them right, and if you don't have agents that are really working their knowledge of the system, they're working their relationships with other agents, they're doing the right things to really promote the property on social media, on print, having phone calls and texting and doing all the things that we do behind the scenes that most sellers don't know we do, and that we spend money on in the marketing side of it, your home can expire if it's not priced right, if it's not marketed right. Prices are up about 2% year over year right now, so we're seeing just slight appreciation, which is a kind of a normal market. 3-4% is a good, healthy market. 2% coming off of record highs, because we're at record highs on prices, on valuation. So a 2% year over year increase is kind of a normal a market that's a little bit more balanced, which is good, I think, really for buyers and sellers. That said, of the properties that are on the market, 57% have taken price reductions. So again, that goes into the whole, you got to price it right. Pricing is a strategy. It attracts the buyers. And then the other correlation to that is, because there's a little bit more homes on the market than this time the last 2 years, we're seeing that the average days on market is about 75 days. And even higher as you go up in price points. But across Orange County, average days on market is about 75 days. And so that's a good thing to know, because again, sometimes sellers will freak out if we haven't sold in the first 2 or 3 weeks. Things are taking longer. So again, pricing, marketing strategy, all that really matters. Rates. So the Fed dropped the federal funds rate by 25 basis points, which is 0.25%, last week, and mortgage rates, 30-year mortgage rates, immediately went up. And so that's completely contradictory to what I think people think. They think that when the Fed drops rates, mortgage rates drop. Usually the mortgage rates anticipate the Fed rate drops, and they did that about 2 months ago. I think that means that the bond market, which is huge and really dictates the 10-year Treasury note, is what dictates 30-year mortgages. It doesn't buy that. It's not convinced that inflation is under control. So even though the Fed is dropping rates, mortgage rates are going up. And there's a good chance that even if the Fed drops rates another 1 or 2 times, which they may do, that may not have a really big impact, especially to the downside, on mortgage rates. So keep that in mind if you're trying to time things and you think rates are going to drop, and therefore you think mortgage rates will drop because the Fed drops rates. There's not always a correlation there. Often there is not one. So we're here to talk about all of your real estate needs, strategy, what's happening in the market trends, how we can help you specifically with your buying and selling needs if you're an investor. We're here to help everybody on the real estate front. We love it. We enjoy this. This is what we do. So reach out to us anytime. Thanks.